Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
You really want to know who's on the radio? Come on. Let's talk about it.
Jeffrey. Let's talk about it live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern.
You know what time it is.
Call or text in live, 470-251-4647. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffrey. And come check us out on www.statusnetwork.net or download the Status Network app on your Apple or Google Play Store.
Let's give them something to talk about.
It's almost showtime, people.
Let's tune in to see what Jeffrey has in store for us tonight. And here's your host, Jeffrey L. Miller.
What is going on, Facebook family? What's going on, Instagram family? What's going on, Status Network and Manifest TV? It's time for Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Every Thursday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. This is exactly how we do it. Now, we got a full house tonight, and this show is going to be off the chain. Off the chain. I want everybody to know that we got the cast of the play Angel's Palace in the house with us. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome.
Hey.
All right, we're going to do some quick introductions very quickly. We'll start right here to my right, and you are?
Hey everybody, I am Carolyn Louise Herring-Jones, the writer, producer, and director of Angel's Palace.
Excellent. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you very much.
All right, and you, to my left?
I am Lisa Batiste. I am assistant director to Carolyn Herring-Jones, and I am lead actress in the plays as well.
Good deal. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, ma'am. You are?
Yes, my name is Bridget Epps. I'm Miss Georgia American Elegance Lady. I'm also starring as a lead in Miss Carolyn's play as, well, the sex trafficking one. I'm going to be Lady Di.
Good deal. Good deal.
True blessing.
Go ahead and pull that mic close to you so they can hear every word that you say. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
All right.
And we have one other guest with us. Go right ahead, sir. You are?
My name is Johnny B. Wesley II, a.k.a. Pinhead.
All right.
And my role in Angel's Palace is Jack. And in Shop Talk, Pastor Clark.
Good deal. Good deal. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Okay, now everybody, as you see, full house, and everybody ain't even here yet.
No.
It's going to be even fuller in just a moment. But we got a couple of traditions on this show. Now, first of all, the weather in Atlanta, thank you very much for turning the heat back on. I don't know what y'all were thinking about last week, but thank you so much. Mayor Lance Bottoms for turning the heat back on. Thank you so much. Traffic wasn't that bad today. I can't believe it wasn't that bad today.
Can you believe it?
It's a Thursday. I don't know what's going on.
Exactly.
It was
30
really good for
minutes.
me. I
That
was
was
off.
like incredible.
I love it. I love it.
In Atlanta, is that even possible?
It's not. But here's the thing. My granddaughter still loves me. My mother loves me. My kids love me. All my brothers and sisters loves me. But y'all hold on one second because you know what time it is. It is time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions. I give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now, see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, you are first. Now, ladies, some of y'all are single quite simply because of your mouth. I need you to understand me. Your mouth is the number one reason you're single. Now, ladies, understand, I'm going to qualify this now. I'm not talking about your man coming home late at 3 o'clock in the morning, not calling, and you being quiet. That ain't what I'm talking about. Or I ain't talking about your man coming home 45 minutes late without giving you a courtesy text or a courtesy call. I ain't talking about that either. I'm talking about that uncontrollable mouth that doesn't understand how to pour into your man to build him up.
That's deep.
I'm talking about that uncontrollable mouth that always got to be right.
Ooh,
Even if you're wrong, you're going to go back in the files and pull something out from 5 years ago to make sure you get to save face and admit, and rather than admit that you were wrong. That's what I'm talking about. That type of mouth right there will keep your ass single, ladies. Here's what I need you to understand more so than anything else. What we want as a man is we want to make sure our woman's taken care of. At the same time,
beautiful.
We want to come home to a place of peace. So as long as you are that voice of unreason,
Right.
that voice of discourse and discontentment, well, you're just making it real easy for the cleanup woman to come on in.
Stop.
And all I want you to know, ladies, is we ain't going to put up with that too much longer.
I know that's right.
boy.
And we will definitely leave you single.
Oh boy.
Did
That's
you hit
deep.
the bell?
That's deep.
I don't think y'all understood what y'all were getting into, but this is how we start this show right around here. So, Carolyn, I'd like for you to give feedback on that topic right there. What do you think?
Day.
I think it is totally true.
Boom. And she drops the mic.
100.
I like that.
All right, I love it. Lisa, what do
Enough
you think?
said. Nothing said left. Yes, you have hit the proverbial strike of the heart. Yes. All is real. All is true.
Good deal.
And ouch.
Stepped on some toes. All right. Yes, ma'am. What do you think?
Well, I can honestly say, an honest woman is going to say that you are right.
Honest woman. What about that dishonest woman? What's she going to say?
They're the ones that's doing it.
Oh! My bell is broke again. I think I broke this bell. I broke this bell.
It's not even working.
But I'm ringing this bell. Brother Johnny, what do you think, sir?
I think a lot of women can't let go of their last relationships.
All right.
So, their spirit and the energy is low. And I think that's the reason that they have that mouthpiece.
Understood. Well said, brother. Well said. Okay. Now, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook.
Okay, let's get into it.
Now we got some enthusiasm up here, fellas. You are next. All right, fellas. Some of y'all are single simply because you are a grown boy. Now, fellas, I ain't trying to be disrespectful. This is what I mean. You still are hurting from that girl from junior high school that broke your heart.
Wow.
Or that girl from high school that broke your heart. Or
Oh, boy.
kindergarten that may have broken your heart.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
And instead of doing the work of building yourself up, you'll do things like build up your physical body to protect that little boy on the inside. Because you think if you get that physique going and you get a little more muscular, that little boy will be protected and nobody can get to it. No, that's not how it works. I want you to understand something, fellas.
Johnny's quite serious.
That puts you in a position, fellas, of being another child to a grown woman.
Oh boy.
And that woman already got grown children in all
Yes.
likelihood, and she ain't looking for another one. I take that back. Some women looking for you, but they're not trying to pour into you in a way that will build you up. What you got to do, man, is put in the work. The work that, first of all, allows that little boy to grow up into your fullness and your masculinity. Because when you walk in your masculinity, you won't be able to stop the right woman from coming towards you.
That's
Right.
right.
Interesting.
But as long as you are a grown boy, you're going to attract some women. But that good woman, she ain't looking to raise another child.
Oh,
She's done with it.
that's it.
And she's going to leave your ass
High and dry.
single.
Oh,
You hit
wow.
that
Y'all
bell
thought I
twice.
was playing tonight. I am not playing tonight. Brother Johnny, we're going to start with you
Yes,
this
I
time.
was
What do you
like,
think about
his
that one,
face
sir?
was like, wow.
It's the exact same situation.
Yes.
When you do this woman wrong and this woman wrong and this woman wrong, when your time come, don't be a little boy, be a man, man up,
Man
and deal
up.
with your karma.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Karma will come right back on you. Very well said. Bridget, yes, ma'am. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Yes, ma'am. What do you think?
Well, you forgot one ingredient, and
Uh-oh.
that was he also living off of how that bitter mother raised him.
That's a topic for another show.
Good God.
But I agree with you. It's a real woman, when she's ready and she's admitted her faults and then came up and she's ready, she's not going to tolerate that child syndrome and that bitterness in a man. That's the worst thing to have, is a bitter man, because they're evil. They're mean-spirited.
I love it. Well said. I love it. Lisa, what do you think?
Yes, that's, I have to piggyback off of that, Miss
Ride it,
Elegance.
baby.
My goodness. And then you have, you just have that man that just, if for much as even not just in a relationship of before, as Johnny said, but in a marriage of before, that was damaged, that was abused, that was felt like they were doing the most and the other woman wasn't. Now you have a woman that does, that pours into you. You don't know how to receive it.
Good deal. Love it. Well said. Carolyn, what do you think?
What do I think?
She
I
got a good
think-
husband. She don't know.
So she doesn't get a speech.
I have a magnificent husband, man
Right,
of God. Woo.
I
Mr.
love
Marcus, you are the man.
He is the man.
True, the man.
He is it. He's the stuff. Inside out.
So literally, drop
So I think she's good.
So hit the bell for her. Hit the bell for her.
Okay. Now, fellas, that's a learning moment, a teachable moment right there. When you treat your woman right, you take care of your woman. She ain't even worried about those types of things because it's foreign to her. What I gotta worry about? Why single or why men single? I got a man.
That's right.
I love it. Men, that's what we foes to do. And I said foes on purpose.
That's right.
I like that.
Pacifically, that's what we supposed to do.
That's what we're supposed to
All
do.
right, I love it. I love it. I love it. Now we got another tradition. We got two traditions. First of all, now my mama got on to me about not having no praise breaks because I was brought up in the church. So we got this praise break. Now this is a short praise break. This is praise break number 2.
Okay.
But I want y'all to know that sometime when the spirit get in you, you can't help what to do.
I'm telling you, hey.
But you know, in the church now, you got the people they'll regulate. Every now and then, they'll walk around and kind of, sometimes they have their handkerchief.
Yeah.
When the shorts a little too short.
Yes.
Too short. The skirt's a little too short. And they'll regulate. But this one right here, we're going to go ahead. This is the Trap City Mass Choir. We're going to play this praise break right here. We'll be right back with you shortly. Go ahead and roll clip.
Ride my pony, my saddle's waiting. Won't you come and jump on it? What must I say? What must I do to show how much I think about breaking you? Say that, y'all. Say good time. I don't see nothing wrong when I look up and cry. We're playing the kissing game. Whoa, show and tell. Just a game I play when I wanna say I love you.
Did y'all feel the spirit take
yes,
over this room?
I
Did you feel the spirit take over this room?
I felt it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. See, now we got that praise break done. All right, now I'm going through these as quick as I can, but I got one last tradition on this show. We like to give a shout out to our HBCUs, our historically black colleges and universities throughout the country. I want everybody to understand something. Right now they're messing with our money.
Yes.
Okay, the federal government has all types of measures that they have not paid or done that are causing HBCUs to feel just a little uneasy because that funding ain't flowing the right way. So I need everyone to be aware that there is no time more critical than right now that we take care of our HBCUs. Now this band right here, I believe is a high school band. And this is one of my favorite trombone fanfares. I'm gonna play it just because this boy showed up, or this young man showed up and showed out. We're gonna play this clip and then we'll get started with the show. Go ahead and roll that clip for me, brother.
Goodness.
Come on in, ladies. Want to roll this with these guys?
Did he tear it up or
Oh
what?
my God, he was rocking it.
That was
Did he kill it or what?
He was
fire.
rocking that thing.
Now
Yes,
listen,
rocking.
I need y'all to understand something. I can guarantee you that his band director came from an HBCU.
Yes.
I guarantee you he came
I
from
guarantee you,
HBCU. Did you
because-
see how funkified that band got when
Yes.
he hit that note?
Even the Caucasian guy was like, "Oh yes, I'm
Right
feeling
here.
it."
Right
Right
here.
here, right
He
there.
was.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. Okay. All right, everybody, listen to me. I need you to understand me. You know I like to be pretty, I like to keep things pretty light on the show.
Pretty.
We about to get serious right
Uh-oh.
now because there's some serious stuff that's going on. Now we're going to talk about the play that's coming up, and then we'll get to the serious topic of sex trafficking. If you didn't know, it's an epidemic right now. That's really
Yes.
one of the only words that appropriately describes
That's
what's
right.
going
Yes,
on. An
that's right.
epidemic.
Yes.
And we live, if you're in the Atlanta area, it's one of the highest areas in the nation
Yeah.
Yes.
for human trafficking. So
This is-
before we get into that, I just
it's
want to talk
real.
about the play, and then we'll get into, man, the dangers
Yes.
of human trafficking. So Carolyn, tell us about the play that's coming up this weekend. We have a showcase this weekend, correct?
We are going to Clark, Atlanta.
Yes.
They have a symposium, and Angel's Palace Cast is going to do a little promo to introduce what the play is about, to educate, to empower, and to instill some things in them so they know what to look for and how to deal with it when it comes their way.
Right.
Safety.
Okay. Now, Lisa, tell us about your involvement in the play.
In the play, I understudied Madam Shy.
Okay.
We did 2 shows in October where I actually was Madam Shy in the first show. And Madam Shy is she is the palace queen. Yeah, she's the one that goes out and actually takes in the girls and young boys, if I can find those as well, into the palace where Raw trains them. Where I train them and where I teach them and he trains them.
Yep.
I also play Honey, who is actually one of the captive ladies that is in the palace that is really thinking it's the best place since sliced bread. Really not don't have anything outside of the world, to really cling to. The life that I am in that palace is home to me.
Understood.
Yeah, so it's pretty deep. I'm thankful that it doesn't necessarily resonate to me as far as being sex trafficked. I'm thankful to God that is something that I hadn't had to entail, but it is very heartbreaking to even play the role of knowing that these young ladies and young men are being sex trafficked in true life.
Wow.
And so it hits really close to home.
Understood. Bridget, tell us about your part.
Yes, my name on my role is going to be Lady Di. Lady Di is pretty much the backbone of where all this trilogy starts and kind of unfolds. I'm the mother of the son that's going to be over it, Raw. Me and my husband, we ran a sex trafficking agency, and it all instilled because of me from way back when I was molested. I did not know that I was endangered, and because of that hurt, it led me into thinking that this is the right kind of love. So it's a sick love, which all of us have, and it always generates from sick kind of a love, the way people generate this. But the organization that I ran, I was trafficking young women, and in the midst of all of that, my son, it's a sad story because it affects close to home to me.
Sure, understood.
And that's because my daughter was trafficked.
Wow.
So my participation in this, it comes from my heart.
Understood.
The passion is real for me. And it also gave me a different enlightenment on the other end of the stick on how it all actually evolves and how it all gathers about. And it helps me be able out here to show awareness to other people on what to look for, the warnings of it. Because the main people that would do this to you are loved ones.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that because I have some information we'll talk about on that shortly. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Brother Johnny, what about you?
I basically play like a over 40-year-old male businessman that got some money, and he's basically making payments to Lady Shy for a 16-year-old named Yasmin. So he's basically like a pimp, and you know, he basically just got her doing whatever to make money, pretty much singing, dancing on the corner, you know. So.
Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I need y'all to understand that this is a powerful topic. If you got questions, you can always put it on the board. If you want to call in, 470-251-4647. Before we get to this video about a young lady who was actually captured, who escaped out of a trunk of a car. This happened like last week, if not earlier this week. We'll play that video in a second. But Carolyn, I want to ask you this. In doing your research and putting this play together on this important topic, how did it move you to really, you know, be just motivated to put this together, to raise awareness on ways to help, you know, bring awareness to sex trafficking?
You know, I found that we don't know anything until it hits us at our front doorstep. We're not interested if it ain't about us. Nor are we willing to bring awareness for others unless we have a reason to.
Sure.
So Angel's Palace is a true story. It is the story of my niece that was trafficked by her mother.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, her mother had her and her other 4 children exploited on a street corner, and they were performers. They had to earn money on the streets to feed themselves, to pay her bills, and if they didn't, they were not going to have a place to lay their head. And my niece was trafficked. Her mother, which is what Bridget is playing, her mother found a guy, and the guy married her daughter. And he married her daughter, had a contract with the mother, and she had to make money in the relationship, and that's what it was, a contract between them. When the daughter found out, because she saw an email from her mother and the guy that she was being trafficked, she wanted out. And she escapes, and she runs away, and she gets on an airplane, gets to the airport, and she doesn't know what to do because she took all of her siblings with her. And they're at the airport not knowing what to do, have no money. They've spent up everything they got. They're at the Atlanta airport, and they're holding up a sign as they went on social media to see if there's anybody that we can find a job, someplace to stay. And they happen to Google the Raw Palace and Madam Shy.
Yes.
And Madam Shy happens to be Lisa over there, and she happens to be the one holding a sign up saying, I'm looking for Tia. I'm looking for you and your siblings, and I'm going to take you to the palace. When she gets to the palace, she finds out that these women, there's a bunch of them here, and a pretty place, but where are these men going? They're taking them to the back room, and they're intimate relationships with these men, and they're getting paid for that relationships. And this is a troubled child, and she says, I ain't gonna be like the rest of them. And there's a big man that owns the palace named Ra, and he said, this is a troublemaker. You need to get rid of her because she's not obedient, not doing what I want her to do.
I'm going to stop you right there because y'all need to make sure you're in the place to see what's happening. Now, it's more than just the play. It's a symposium, correct?
Yeah.
So it's an information session where you can get some good information on how to prevent, how to be aware of the signs of sex trafficking. You could be in a motel or a hotel, and you would not know it, but maybe someone you're passing by may be a victim of sex trafficking.
That's right.
So awareness is the key here, awareness. And now, let's not get it twisted. This isn't just a problem that's affecting just us. However, it's a good number of our young ladies, our young women and young boys that are missing, unaccounted for. That very well could be victims of sex trafficking.
Amen.
Okay? They're not all runaways.
That's right.
Okay, now, also on social media, you know, social media can be a place of nothing but pure fun. At the same time, it can depress the heck out of you.
That's right. I'm telling you, make me not want to be on.
I saw pictures and posts of a van that's been driving around all these different locations. Be aware of this van. Watch out for this van. In multiple cities. Now, you know, sometimes you'll see a story that says Atlanta, then it looks like it's in Ohio and Birmingham too. There were different vans in every city. Different vans around colleges, elementary schools, on the block.
Yep.
I saw a video of a young girl walking home from school, and a car was following her. I'm glad she had the wisdom to hide behind this truck where they couldn't see her.
I'm telling you.
She waited for the car to go. She started to move. The car backed up real fast. She stopped, moved back. Every time the car came this way, she went this way behind the truck. Finally, the car pulled off and she ran home. The neighbor's surveillance camera saw it all on film. This is serious business. So before we go, too far, I have a video that shows a victim of sex trafficking who was in the trunk and she happened to escape. We're going to show that video in just a second. But Bridget, let me ask you this question. When it comes to your character, you said it was personal. The whole play is personal for you. Tell us what you put into that character to breathe life and believability into the role that you play.
The anger.
The anger.
The realization that a person can be the illness of the person. I display myself as a mentally ill person in more of a defense to showing you the realization of the character of these people so the people can see the temperament of them. That it's not nice. So that's the main thing of this play. It displays the trueness of what the person is actually being involved in. Grabbing them.
Okay.
The actual
Almost had a
drugs,
raw moment. Wait a
the
minute,
drug
but
moments.
Madam Shadow.
This play exemplifies all the illnesses it's given, mainly how these young girls and young boys are being drugged, the coercing of it all, and also the emotional breakdown of showing that sick people are really out here.
Yeah.
They have to see that example of my mindset.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Understood. Okay. Before we get back to our next questions, I want to play this clip. I'll set it up for you. This young lady was held hostage, and the gentleman in the car had her in the trunk. I want you to watch the video and watch the rawness of it, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Here we go right here. Go ahead and roll clip for me.
Outside her apartment, she was forced to drive her car, and then her abductor stuffed her into the trunk of the car. Now, fortunately, there was a law passed in the year 2000 that says that there has to be a release inside the trunk that will allow the trunk to be opened from the inside. Well, she found that in the darkness, was able to pull it, and jumped out. And her dramatic escape from the moving car was all captured on a video camera here at the gas station. The unbelievable escape of a terrified woman rolling out of the trunk of a moving car, all captured on video. That woman, 25-year-old Brittany Diggs, fleeing from her suspected kidnapper, threatening to kill her. Earlier in the night, the suspect grabbed her at gunpoint outside her home, forcing her into her own car.
He was like, well, since you don't have any money, you're going to help me get money. So he made me drive him to another side of town. He tried to rob 2 other couples.
When that wasn't working, he made her pull over.
I kept telling him I was a broke college student, I don't have anything. And he's like, well, let's pop your trunk, let's look in the trunk. So looked in the trunk, of course there's nothing there. And he's like, now get in the trunk.
Back in the car, he found her wallet.
He's like, give me your PIN number or I'm gonna kill you. Like every other thing he said was, or I'm gonna kill you.
After multiple failed attempts at the ATM, his final threat at the last gas station.
If this don't work, I'm gonna kill you.
Brittany says panic was setting in.
My biggest fear was he was gonna drive this car into a river. I'm gonna drown here and nobody's gonna know I'm in this trunk.
So she came up with a plan.
I'm just sitting there thinking, and I'm like, I might have a trunk latch. I remember seeing a video on Facebook, so I just got the bright idea to use my insulin pump light. So I found the latch. He's in the store, I'm holding the latch like this, waiting for him to get back in the car. He gets in, he's yelling, he's pulling off pretty fast. So I'm like, oh shoot, let me hurry up and get out of here. Like he's pulling off faster than I thought he was. So pop the trunk, pop the latch, and I step out instead of rolling out.
Frantic, she ran into the gas station and hid while the owner called police. This morning, her alleged kidnapper still at large. This photo put out by police is all there is to go on. Brittany says until he's caught, her nightmare will not end.
I try to put it in the back of my head so I can just, get through the day. But that was like the scariest thing I've ever had to deal with. It was just a lot because I'm not from here. I don't have, I don't have a support system down here besides my roommate. I just felt like it was a lot.
Listen, I need everybody to understand something. When I say that this is one of those serious shows, it's not to, be a downer. It's just to say that every now and then what you have to do is you have to talk about the reality of what we're facing right now.
Right.
That young lady said that she didn't know anybody there. It's a scary situation, and her life was at risk. Lauren says that it's not just sex trafficking that we also have to be wary of. Organ trafficking.
Yes.
Wow.
People
are being
we learned that. Yes.
kidnapped
Yes.
and found without their organs.
Yes.
All types of things are happening all over the place. So we have to be very, very aware. Brother Johnny, I want to bring you back into the conversation. First of all, do you have any children? How does that make you feel as a father, seeing something like that, or just hearing what's going on, mostly with our young daughters, but also with our young sons?
I have a 18-year-old that just started college. So when I seen that, and she was saying basically that she was somewhere, strange, and all she had was her roommate. First thing it made me think of was, my daughter.
Yep.
So, it's just a terrible situation.
Really, it really is. Lisa, let me ask you this question now. Yes. Tell me a little bit more about your character, Lisa.
Basically, I'm paying Lady Di. We have a contract together. So basically, I just bought me a 16-year-old.
Understood.
And I make payments on.
Understood.
But to help me make those payments, I got out on the street dancing and singing.
Understood. Now, Lisa, again, tell me the name of your character one more time, Lisa.
Which one?
The one in Angel's Palace.
Angel's Palace, I am Honey, and I am Madam Shy.
Which one you gonna be on Saturday?
Saturday.
Which one she gonna be on Saturday?
I know, right?
Tabitha's going to play Madam Shy. You're going to play Honey.
You're going to play Honey. Tell me about Honey. Tell me about Honey.
Okay. Honey is she's actually Louis Blue's woman.
Okay.
And she's pretty much telling the ladies that she is better than they are. She really is not supposed to be in this place, but yet she is. She is almost as if she wants to be Madam Shy. Because Madam Shy is over the palace, and Honey feels like she is over the women when Madam Shy is not around.
So she's ambitious.
She's running the stuff.
Yes. Okay. She is. She's running behind Madam Shy, but she really doesn't care for Madam Shy because she wants to take Madam Shy's role. But she's in. She loves Louis Blue. But Louis Blue has just messed up, and now he wants to get rid of her because he needs a debt paid. So he wants to sell off Honey to Raw. So I am kind of past the buck, just like everyone else. Now I realize I'm not who I thought I was.
You know what? I like her role as Madam Shy. She does Madam Shy as well. But Madam Shy is in love with Raw. And she decided to love him so much because he promised her a career.
Right.
And as an artist, she's like, so Raw, what's happening? And she finds herself the madam over the palace with him. And she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want my stardom. You promised me a future.
Right.
And in reality, that is how it is in sex trafficking. They make promises to these girls that they are not going to fulfill, expecting them to fulfill what they want them to do.
The cooperation. My daughter, she was a runaway. And in her process of running away, that was the main thing that caught her, was the fact that they was going to help her and help her start her own life. And in the process, they threw her in a trunk and took her to New York. And unfortunately, she was placed into an abandoned home and chained. And that's when they was allowed to just come in there, and they continuously drugged her. And then that's what they had, this big epidemic here in Georgia on Chamblee Tucker, because the hotels over there by the Quick Trip is where they have a big ring over there. And at the time, which was so beautiful, I know nothing but God, I worked at the IRS right there on the same street.
Yes.
And when they brought her back there, she remembered that street. So fortunately, it jogged her memory through all the drugs, and she called me on the phone, and I happened to be at work that day doing overtime.
Wow.
And when I answered the phone, and that's when the cops came in, and They got my daughter. And the biggest thing that I want everybody to be aware of is this. Even though we can make the awareness, people also have to make sure as a family member that you really get them help, because the aftermath, some survive, and most still, if they come home, that's not them no more.
They've been affected.
And I have to say off of that, because that's my niece.
Come on, right close to the mic.
That's my niece, that happened to, and it still today really affects me. Knowing that my beautiful niece that used to dance, sing, love everyone was taken and completely changed.
Understood.
And you think about it and you say, well, sex trafficking, all it is about sex. It is not. It is so much deeper, and it really terrifies them, and it changes their whole perspective of life.
Yes.
Their whole being. They don't love themselves anymore. They don't think anyone truly cares for them, and they think that's the only life that they're supposed to be living.
That's right.
You become a form of PTSD because it's a traumatic trauma, and a lot of people don't understand PTSD is not only just a military illness. It's given a chronic dramatic some type of trauma that's given to a person. And it's like an ongoing process, and we don't realize because we associate it only with military, most are not treated for it.
Right.
And so you have PTSD, and because they travel their world, in that world, you have to take your mind somewhere else to survive. And in her mind, she went into it, and then now she has schizophrenia, PTSD, and then also multiple personality, because you have to be somebody else to deal with these people.
To be able to
defense
survive
mechanisms.
everything.
The thing that I want to let everybody know is that there are certain things that you can look out for. Now, in doing research and finding things, I came across a pretty good segment that talks about things that you can look out for that would help you find someone or identify someone who may be a victim of sex trafficking. Now, I'm going to say this before we get to that part of it. Everybody, first of all, it's just not enough to just get out of the car and walk into any building or to walk fast or anything like that. This is what UPS drivers do when they drive to help them avoid accidents. They see things and they call it out. Car coming out of the driveway on the right. Traffic light, red car in front of me, hitting brakes hard, whatever. They say these things to make their responses quicker. And it helps them keep their accident rates very, very low.
Yes.
I'll submit to you that that is the type of awareness that we need to have nowadays when we step outside of our cars. Look up, when we pull up, you're looking at the parking lot. There's a gas station not too far away. I pulled up, I said, white car, nobody in the white car. Parking next to the white car. 3 rows were empty, but I made sure I made that white 2005 Lexus. I knew what type of car it was. I knew all that stuff, so if anything popped off, at least I knew the car, and I had it committed to memory.
That's right.
We have to have that type of awareness simply because it is that serious now out here. When I say this is an epidemic, it is truly an epidemic.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it is.
Now, we've had another one of our actors join us.
Yay.
Now, traffic was good for us. But Atlanta traffic gonna get you one way or the other.
One way or another.
So I'd like to welcome our next guest to the studio. Sir, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone out in Radio Land. My name is Jared Patterson. I play the actor. I play Raw in Angel's Palace.
Okay.
Clayton is Shop Talk 2 While Real Men Wait. Joseph in The Gift of Giving. And so on and so on and so on.
Good deal, good
real
deal.
life.
Now tell us about your character. Give us a little more background on your character in Angel's Palace.
Well, Raw is a, how can I say this? His parents are not a good example for him.
Okay.
So he's a victim of what his parents are involved in. It's a learned behavior for him. And he really don't have a choice, because his parents is part of the sex trafficking, and so he got pulled into it.
Okay.
So as he's being pulled into it, his thing is, I'm in it now. This is my empire. Nobody's going to take my business. Nobody's going to bring my empire down. What Raw says goes. There's no negotiation.
Right.
And so that's pretty much who he is. He's just that raw. That's why it's called. Well, it's Robert Angel Walker.
Okay, all right.
You know, he's living out.
He's raw.
Raw.
Yes.
He's just that cat. He's raw, just like that.
Okay.
Yes.
No holds barred. He ain't taking no prisoners.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Thank you so much for bringing that and give us that information, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, now everybody understand me. Before we play this video on some tips and things that you can see, I want to know a little bit more about your acting, how you got into acting, when did the bug hit you, or writing, or whatever it is that you do. We're going to start with you, Carolyn, and just give us a little background on how you got into this part of your life.
My whole entire life, I always knew that I was an arts person. I mean, I loved dancing, I loved singing, I loved acting. I knew that's what I always wanted to do. And my dad said, no, you better learn computers. And so, so I ended up majoring in computer science, what my dad told me to do. But on the side, I took little side classes of dance and acting and all that different stuff. And so, I've graduated with the computer science, and then I went to school for radio, television, broadcasting, and then I went to school for mass communications, and I did a minor in theater, and I learned to write. And it was after my own personal story that I decided that it needed to be a message behind everything that I do. So my first play, that Women Shop Talk While Real Men Wait, the ones that these ladies were talking about, that they're also main characters in, is my life story, Survivor of Domestic Violence. And I found that as a playwright, you should deliver a message that's meaningful, and being a servant of God is most prevalent in everything that you say and do, because it's a deliverance that's going to make a huge difference compared to, I just love to act, I just love to model, I just love to dance, I love to write. I have to write with meaning and substance, and so that's how I got involved in it with my degrees and stuff like that. I feel like anything in any job that I do, I got to grab something to it, to add to it, to manifest what God has for me to deliver. And so I don't just take jobs to work jobs. I take jobs to get something from it, to learn something, to be able to pour into somebody else out of it. And so when I cast on a discernment. And Lisa, who's sitting next to you, I don't pick on her, but I am picking on her because I saw something in her that she didn't even know that was there. I'm like, oh my God, you're a jewel. You're an artist. I grabbed her as my assistant director in my play before, but I saw beyond that. You can sing, you can act. And so a little bit I poured into it. She pulled out so much that I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you're deep. And so her sister, not even understanding that she was a survivor, it was easy for her to play me in my own play. So my discernment on that is strong. And even in the male characters that I have, it's like I see strength in what their deliverance is and the acting, and that's what I pulled into it and pulled out of it.
Good deal. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Amen.
All right, Garrett, let's start with you, and then we'll come back around this way, or pick up with you. Tell us how you got the acting bug, and a little bit more about what you done and what else you do.
Well, I caught the acting bug in second grade.
All right.
As a matter of fact, I can still remember my first 2 plays that I did.
Okay.
And from there, it continued all the way through junior high. Then high school, got into sports, sports, women, you know the deal.
Sure.
So, then after high school, I went into the military.
Okay.
So after I got out of the military, my former pastor, I was listening to him one evening in Bible study, and he was saying, what is it that you can do and that you would love doing and not get paid for it? He said, whatever that is you come up with, that's your passion.
That's right. That's right.
And that's where your gift is.
That's right.
And his whole topic was creative thinking. Because he said, we're getting into this age now, this age now where jobs are becoming scarce.
That's right.
You know, and we have to have creative minds. We have to have creative ideas in our own psyche to create something that will develop and generate residual income. So as I was sitting there listening to him, I said, what is it? And I just started speaking, you know, listening to the voice of the Lord. And I was like, he said, well, remember the skills that your father gave you. He gave you the gift of acting, and he gave you the gift of modeling.
Okay. Now hold the mic right close to your mouth, because when you pull it like we can hear you.
I said, oh, okay. And so from that point, I just started putting everything into action. And then, you know, doors started opening here, started opening here. And that's really how I winded up from Florida to Atlanta, because it was a business venture. It was a business proposition for me to move here and do some work.
Good deal. Love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
All right, Johnny.
I actually wanted to be an actor, and I remember kind of like him. We did a play in elementary, and I think I wanted to be like the Tin Man and or the Lion. And you know, I didn't get the role. I ended up being one of the monkeys. So,
No, man.
yeah, I didn't have no lines. So all I had to do was just, you know,
fly around.
you know what I'm saying? So later on, high school, I ended up rapping and won a talent show, and it just, that was it for me. So I just rapped. And basically how I got into Angel Palace was Mr. Levi Miller had invited me as like a walk-on. I think it was his little league team from the 60s that was doing an interview with Miss Carolyn. And Miss Carolyn saw me and invited me back to do an interview with Tabitha from Cut Close. And Miss Carolyn was the one that gave me the opportunity.
Good deal. Thank you so much. Bridget.
Yes.
How did the acting bug jump on you?
Wow. Well, when I was in the 3rd grade, I had actually won this radio contest where I had to write we had to write an essay pertaining to what we loved about Christmas. And I wrote basically about how I just love seeing my family together. And when I went on the radio station, it was just like, oh, you're just a natural. Let's give her the mic. And they let me run the whole show.
Oh, wow.
And from then on, it was just like, wow, I like this. And when I went to Mississippi, I was actually given a lot of different opportunities. And it was a blessing to me that anything I've ever done, somebody has actually just walked up to me and gave me the opportunity to do it. And so when I got here, I won in a contest for an acting contest, and they gave me a whole contract and everything. But my job at the time threatened me. They said, we can't let you off this weekend, but if you want the the opportunity, go for it. And it's actually for a Tom Ford commercial, and then I had a role with Tyler Perry. It was a whole lot of different things given to me, and I had little kids at the time. So I said, guaranteed money or maybe. Then later on, I was given an opportunity again once they grew up to start over again into the acting. And once that came to me, I said, I'm not letting nothing go, because I knew that was my passion. But comedy really brought me into it.
Comedy? Okay.
Yeah, comedy.
She
because
is quite funny. Oh, my gosh.
We'll talk about that in a few.
Long story short, it's just through everybody that I've actually been blessed with coming in contact with, I've always been keep on giving. Here, I wrote you in my script. Something about you, I want you right here. And so when after so many times that somebody writing you into a script, I'm like, okay, God, I believe it, and I thank you. And from that moment on, I've just welcomed that as a blessing, and doors have just been kicked open for me. Miss Carolyn just welcomed me into this life, and it is my passion. It really is. And it's like Garrett said, you said it so perfectly. What is something that you would do without getting compensated for it?
That's right. That's right.
And that's how I've been feeling.
Yeah.
This is something I would always do, regardless as to what.
Excellent. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Lisa.
You're always trying to get me to go behind this. Georgia Ellicott, are you serious now? What brought me in? It's crazy because younger, I was Miss Honor in school, high school. My main thing was keeping my grades above a B. I was president of my FBLA. I was, pretty much my schooling and captain my cheerleading squad and prom queen and
keeping up with me.
Yes, and trying to keep up with my little sister was enough. I really got into modeling. I actually, once I had my children, my girls, I brought them into modeling, and that was something that I always loved to do. Far as acting, it was never anything that I said, I just want to act. I've always been a motivational speaker. I am always, my personality stands out everywhere. So I knew God had a purpose and a plan for my life. I just did not know what. Love singing, was brought up on music by daddy since childhood. I played keyboard, drums. He had, screaming. I felt like Michael Jackson's. It was, no playtime until you get your music and your homework done. Singing in the choir, singing in the group with my father. He had his own band. A-tracks and
for those
the
that don't know
vinyl
what an 8-track
records.
is, an 8-track is a device that you put inside of an 8-track player.
Yes, you do.
And I just told her how old I am. But it's still at this point in my life I'm thankful for my age. I'm thankful for the ability to do the things that I do and to have the advance and the opportunities that I have. And I actually, for long story short, the first time I actually went to a rehearsal was for my sister.
She went to bring me medicine.
I went to actually. And I wind up sitting in on the rehearsal, and Garrett was there. That was the first time I met Garrett, and believe it or not, that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And went to the rehearsal, and that was my first time actually seeing, and I was excited. Oh my God, this is a real rehearsal. And we were at a house, and it was still like, wow. It's just little things with me. And to hear how they had, put in what they did to actually get this play to come across really meant something to me. Oh, wow, I want to be a part of that. The next couple of years later, I'm back in Atlanta, and I'm with my sister again, going to another rehearsal. And this time coming to the rehearsal, I met Miss Carolyn.
Okay.
And the energy and the
love
and the that connection with Miss Carolyn was instant. It was whatever you need me to do or whoever you need me to be was just what I said to her. And at that time, I hadn't acted. And she asked, do I sing? I'm very modest. I know God is good, and I always stay as humble as God will allow me to be. And she asked me, and yes, I do sing, but I don't know if I want to sing in a play. Do you act? No, I really don't act, but hey, I can do it if you want me to. So I became her director.
Okay.
I had my legal background of 28 years. I have managed and run business corporations for years. So yes, I can run a play.
Now, I want y'all to understand something. I got a text real early this morning. I'm like, who in the world is texting me before 8? Before 8?
Interesting, Lisa. I didn't know about that.
All that I know is she takes making sure that she does what she's supposed to do very seriously.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Before we transition, I want to go ahead and play this clip. And the clip is going to really set up some of the things that you should be watching out for, some signs that you may see. And it's very, very informative. Pay close attention. We'll be back shortly. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Movie Taken depicted human traffickers breaking into a house and dragging away teenage girls to sell them on an overseas black market.
But experts know these criminals often use more subtle and strategic methods. That's why The Blue campaign by the Department of Homeland Security is supporting 2 new California laws that require awareness training for transit, hotel, and motel workers. These are industries in which employees are most likely to encounter trafficking victims. There are things that everybody should know about how these criminals operate. Mary David is a former prosecutor and UN advisor. She joins us this morning with the 5 common traps used by human traffickers. Good morning to you.
Welcome.
Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So the first trap, something so simple, and maybe you wouldn't even think to begin here. What should we know about human traffickers' approach to women and girls by telling them that they're beautiful?
Traffickers often tell women and girls that they're beautiful, and what they do is they will actually scope out places where women and girls will often hang out. They will go to malls, school playgrounds, and the movie theater, and they'll approach these potential victims and tell them, "You're beautiful," and see how they respond. If the woman or girl responds with a lot of confidence and seems unfazed, they move on. But if she seems uncomfortable with the compliment, if she looks down and can't make eye contact, or if she says, "No, I'm not beautiful," then they know that this is someone who they then can manipulate and use as a potential victim.
Another trap you talk about is false offers of job opportunities.
Yes. Traffickers are increasingly using social media to target women and girls with job opportunities by sending them messages on their photos or sending them direct messages saying, "We can find you an opportunity in television, film, and dance." And they will often even get these women and girls into a small music video or get them a job at a nightclub. And while it may start out as seemingly professional and seemingly just dance, it often escalates into commercial sexual exploitation.
This next trap is especially sinister. Human traffickers stepping in as a parental figure. Is that to establish trust and then they go from there?
Yes, that's exactly what happens. Traffickers will actually spend months scoping out a potential victim, and they will determine what their social habits are, who their support networks are, whether they have close relationships with their family members. If they don't, this is someone that they will then, it's called grooming, and they will buy them things like sneakers. They will take them to get their hair and their makeup done, to get their nails done, and create this bond and fill in a gap that often a family member, like a mother or a father, would often fill. And this is a void that children are so often hungry for. And so to be recognized in that way, it makes it so much easier for them to then establish loyalty and trust to this trafficker, who then completely uses it to manipulate them.
With so many people using online methods to sort of find companionships, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you say that some of these traffickers pose as a potential boyfriend.
Absolutely. Increasingly, social media apps like WhatsApp, Snapchat, and Instagram are being used by traffickers to send out messages to women and girls that seem harmless at first. They will just tell them that they're beautiful. They will just strike up conversations with them. And over time, it's easy for someone to feel like they know this person, even though they really don't know them at all. They're just hiding behind a screen, and it's a stranger. But by establishing this contact through social media, which then can ramp up to phone calls and then finally an in-person meeting, they already feel like they have this connection and they have a relationship with this person. And then what happens is they then say, you know, once they actually get close and do start dating, you know, "I'm really short on money. Just one time. Will you do this for me one time? I'm only asking you because I feel so bad to do this, but I trust you."
I need y'all to understand
That's
something.
deep. That's deep.
It is that serious.
It is.
Now, just my final 2 cents on it. It falls on us as adults and parents, to make sure that we're building up our children. And when I say building up our children, I don't mean just gassing them up. I mean finding out what it is that helps them feel good about who they are and constantly reinforcing that. Because when a child is confident from the inside, they don't need no external nothing.
That's right.
One of the things that I try my best to do for both of my children to show them what a man is supposed to do, so that they have no doubt that if they see something contrary to that, well, that ain't what a man's supposed to do.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect man. I'm saying that these are the core things that men strive to do.
Right.
And if a man ain't striving to do those things, well, he may not be on the right path at that point in his life. At the same time, we have to be aware of the things that our children are doing.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I let my kids know that this ain't your house.
That's right.
Amen.
The phone you're using, that ain't your phone.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, it's my phone. Give it to me right now.
Hello.
And scroll. Now they got a little smart on me. They started deleting stuff. I got a little smart on them. Because it was my phone, I still had access to the data, and occasionally I would order it up. And I would go through the data. And if I found something, I made an excuse or found another reason to have the conversation that needed to be had. Now, all of it wasn't disciplinary.
Right.
Some of the conversations was when we were in the car riding, they couldn't get away.
No, that's right.
Hey, let's talk about this. It's life conversations. But as parents, it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we are building our children up to be adults.
Yes.
They grow up fast as all get out anyway, so we have to invest the right amount of time making their legs strong, making their arms strong, making their minds even stronger, though. Making their hearts even stronger. So when someone steps to them with some foolishness, they have something in the background saying, "Nah, that ain't how it's supposed to be."
Exactly.
Or some little dusty-kneed boy come up to my daughter, "My daddy can do that. My daddy take care of that.
That's right.
I don't need nothing from you because my daddy got it."
Amen.
Okay, so now when she meets the man that can do more than her daddy can do, that dude need to be dropping on one knee.
Amen. Amen.
But up until that time, I'm the standard.
That's right.
All right, I love it. I love it.
Love it.
Okay, now listen. We're going to transition just a little bit. And because we're transitioning, my mom got on me about this. We got another praise break.
Oh.
Up in this piece. Now, we're going to play this praise break, and I want everybody to understand. Now, sometimes, you got to make sure that you're doing things in a nice way. Even when you're praising, sometimes you got to do it in a nice way. Now, I remember the story that Shirley Caesar saying way back in the day, talking about John, who had this old horse out in the field. And people in the church like, you praise too much.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I feel like somebody in the church said. So we're going to roll this clip, and here we go. It's a short clip. Go ahead and roll it.
Maybe I have a prep. So, I'm going to talk about Jesus.
Hallelujah.
That's loud.
Okay, sorry.
Do it nicely.
Oh, yes. Hallelujah.
What?
She did.
Did she check him or what? Hold on a second.
I'm going to need you to hold on.
Did she check him or what?
Yes, Lord. Put
that
him
was just a little bit too loud.
In the place.
A little bit too loud now. Bring that down.
I'm going to need you to bring it down just a little.
She had to regulate. You saw how quick she turned around?
Yeah.
She ain't even 3. Ain't even 3. She's like 2, almost 3.
Swish.
This is not about you.
Right around on her. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So I want to ask a question about Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, boy.
Now, towards the end of the show, we're going to talk more about the play and how people can see the play and how people can follow you. But I want to talk about Kaepernick right now. Here's the background. Colin Kaepernick was invited to the NFL on last Tuesday, by the NFL, on last Tuesday, to work out for all of the NFL teams in a private workout session in Flowery Branch, Georgia. That's the Atlanta Falcons, one of their facilities. Okay, no worries. They said, you got to respond right now. I think you got 2 hours to respond, either yay or nay. He accepted. Saturday comes. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I was rooting for it. I'm like, yeah, because I ain't watched a minute of NFL football since he's been out of the league, and I still ain't going to watch till he's back. And if he'll never come back, I ain't never watching it again.
There you go.
I ain't missing nothing. College football, better anyway. So, as it turns out, gets to the workout, and they say, okay, here's the standard agreement for you to sign, this liability waiver form, with some new documentation added to the form. And Colin Kaepernick looked at it, had his attorneys review it, and they said, "This not how it's supposed to be.
Nope. Gave it back.
It ain't supposed to be this way. We ain't signing this.
Nope.
How about this standard waiver? The standard
Just
waiver
standard.
that everybody plays, everybody who plays or goes out, that they sign. How about that one? Now you got to sign this new one." As a point, nobody in the NFL has ever had to sign a form like that, whether they made it or not. They have never had to sign that disclaimer.
That's discrimination. They discriminate against
not
them.
one person.
Single them out.
So he goes and he to Charles Drew High School, and I believe it was Clayton County, and had a public workout, and was throwing bombs, hitting people on reads seamlessly, looking good, looking like he could start right now over half of the quarterbacks in the league right now. Definitely half of the back. Well, no, I would say 85% of the backups. He could step right in right now and take their job.
That's my boy.
Okay, so obviously nobody's picked him up yet. The NFL said you were a no-show. We gave you this platform, and all types of sports people said we gave you this platform, and you showed up with a Kunta Kinte shirt. You don't really want to play. I just want to talk to the fellas real quick before we get to the fellas. Ladies, y'all know I'm going to come back to y'all, right?
Of course.
Don't think ain't no discrimination, and no holleration up in this dancery.
Yes,
I'm going to get to y'all too.
Okay.
But I want to talk to the fellas about something that kind of struck me. So I'm going to ask Brother Johnny. Brother Johnny, how did you feel about the Kunta Kinte shirt? Just the Kunta Kinte shirt, him wearing that shirt. What did you think about that action?
Pretty much, I mean, everything that he's doing from the kneeling of the knee is all about injustice. And so to me, I mean, if you go all the way back and know anything about slavery, I mean, if you go against a slave master, you get punished. So basically, by you getting down on one knee, you know what I'm saying, now you're being punished. So my thing is, the reason he's probably not playing is because they don't want him to play because of what he did. So
okay.
Yeah, he's being whipped, drove behind the horse, or however you want to look at it.
Brother Garrett, how you feel about the Kunta Kinte shirt? How you feel about that act?
Well, the shirt should have made a difference if it's all about playing football. But like Johnny said, you know, they're making an example of it. They're trying to make an example out of it. You know, in this day and age, whether we like it or not, and this is just the gospel according to G, all right? Slavery still exists.
Preach.
It still exists.
That's right.
They showing it, just like Johnny said, they showing it to you right now because the man took a stand.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't do that. We didn't give you that permission, boy. Get up off your knees. Who told you you had the right? Who told you had the power?
All right, Martin.
You see, that's the raw
raw.
egg there.
That's
Yeah,
raw.
that's the raw.
Okay. Raw just came out, y'all. That was raw.
That was raw. You saw that, right? He got real
So
serious on that thing.
if you go against the system or buck against the system, then you are automatically shown as an outsider or as an instigator or as a troublemaker.
That's right.
And he's not trying to make trouble. All the man was basically saying he's making a statement.
He's just making a statement.
Now, if the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't, go to the store and get you another pair.
Hello.
I love it. Now, obviously the NFL is hating on Kaepernick. We're gonna discuss that a little more in just a second. Why they're hating on Kaepernick. But Bridget, I want to ask you, how do you feel about Colin Kaepernick? Not necessarily about the Kunta Kinte, but about the situation. How do you feel about it?
They chastising him, and the difference now is everything is social media. Everything we do now, everything you do now is accountable because everything is put out in public because we have social media now. And that's the difference now that we have is everything that's always been done now is visible to the whole world and it can't be ignored. The problem here is that he's still standing out there by himself. And everybody else is rubbernecking, sitting in the back holding their they try to keep their football and not saying nothing. Because honestly, when he was handed that and it's proven, it's public notice that they gave this man an unfair response as the contract what they want him to sign. The whole NFL should have protested that. They all should have protested that, because there's no way in the world you're going to do the injustice to one. I don't care about your color. This is about the game. You trying to lock one person down because he stood up for something that he believed in? I mean, it was just, it's uncalled for, and it's going to continue on until they all stand up together on that.
That's foolishness. Yep.
Lisa, what do you think, Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, even when he, initially took the knee, that took some strength, and I don't really even think that in doing it, he had a thought of, I'm doing this to get y'all. I'm doing this to be against y'all. Or, he just truly believed and took a stance of what he believed in.
Amen.
And for him to be run over the way that he has been, and to have been and is still an awesome football player. Yes. I mean, just an awesome athlete. And, for them to have just allowed him to not be able to be just who he is because they can't control him is unreal. But it happens, and it happens, and I stand, and it proves that there are those that are not willing to bow down, even in that industry. Even regardless of how much money is being brought about, they still have. They still have some integrity. I love it. I appreciate that.
Carolyn, 1 second. Go ahead.
Amen to the brother that took a stand. Amen to being a real man that had no fear. Amen to the men that stand behind him for what he stood for. That's a real man. That's a real teammanship.
I love it.
And the fact that, like you said, I ain't watching. I ain't watching till they make a change.
That's
because
right.
it ain't right. They do everything they can do to hold us in bondage, yet they claim we are free.
Yes.
He took a stand and let it be known. That ain't right.
That's right.
Money still has us in captivity.
Yeah.
Now I want y'all to understand something. Brother Garrett's over there chomping at the bit.
He
Brother
is.
Garrett, you got something else to add?
Right.
Well, Razor, what I was going to say is when they drew up that waiver, they already knew that he wasn't going to sign that. They knew he wasn't going to sign it, but they had to do something. Okay, so you can't say we gave you a waiver, you turned it down, so you can't say we didn't try.
Yeah.
But what's the underline behind all
right?
See, my mother always taught me, son, don't just read between the lines, read behind the lines, because behind the lines is what a person is truly saying.
That's what they truly are.
Yeah, I love it. Words of the wise. Now, we're going to play this video right here on why they're really hating on Kaepernick. I need y'all to understand something. After the video, I'm going to give it to y'all, because a couple of my friends still got nothing but respect for you. Men and women love all y'all, like my Facebook cousins that y'all are. But I want y'all to watch this clip and really listen to it and get a better understanding of what we're dealing with here. Go ahead and roll clip.
All I'm going to say about this is you cover basketball. You made your bones playing basketball, covering basketball. My question on all of this is, why is it so important to break this man? Why is it so? We have characters all over sport. You and I we're the same age. We remember Jim McMahon wearing a Pete Rozelle bandana on his head during games. So therefore, why is it so important to break him? If you are breaking him, if you can't handle characters, Dennis Rodman's in the Hall of Fame as a character. What you're really saying is, we can handle everything in sport. We can handle the black violence that we forgive. But what we will not forgive is black advocacy. What we want is black obedience. And if that's the case, then what you really should do with this entire farce is to come out and say, look, we do not believe that our fan base is going to appreciate, or we can't handle the risk of having him support the black cause. You can't.
Now, from the comments, Brother Marquis says, I support Cap, but the shirt should not have been worn. Can't show up for a job interview with that shirt. Excellent point. Counterpoint. In the NFL, as been pointed out by several people, they've had people that have buck the NFL dress code all the time. Jim McMahon, who played for the Chicago Bears back in the mid-'80s,
Ain't that
was
something?
getting excoriated for wearing a headband.
Yep.
And the commissioner said, you better take that headband off because it has a logo on it. It said Nike. He said, all right. He took it off and he got a white one and wrote the commissioner's name on the headband. They said, I'm still wearing my headband. And guess what? He got fined, but he didn't get kicked out of the league.
Kicked off.
Now,
That's right.
Kunta Kinte is symbolic.
Yeah.
They were trying to get him to accept the name Toby.
Right.
So when he wore that shirt, he says, hey, I'm standing here ready to show you I still got the goods, but I ain't playing by your rules. Now, I get it. Of course, he's applying for a job. He's looking to get a job, and they don't have to hire him. That is true. Here is the point that the NFL wanted to cover their butts on. They colluded to keep him from getting hired, and that is illegal.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And now in this instance, they wanted him to sign employment documentation and employment language that absolved the NFL from future lawsuits. And he said, hell no, brother.
No.
That's not how this gonna be. Just give me this standard waiver, and you know what? I'll even sign this, and I'll even sign that, and I'll even do this to show you in good spirit I'm negotiating. When you're dealing with that type of money, you don't negotiate at the table the day of. You let your attorneys review it, and then they go back and forth. And after all that stuff is done, that's when you reach an agreement.
That's right.
It's just some tweaking going on at that stage. They tried to strong arm the brother, and he wasn't going for it. Now I want you to understand, the NFL didn't say nothing about the shirt. It's us that said something about the shirt. I got brothers on the timeline saying, I can't show up to my job. You're right. You can't show up to your job that way, because you don't bring that type of value to the marketplace. I want you to understand me now.
That's deep.
I worked in sales for so many years, and I had people making a whole lot of money for the company, basically came to work when they wanted to come to work. Because the company knew that when they come to work, they making me money.
That's right.
So I ain't even worried. But you couldn't do that because you didn't generate that type of revenue. At the same time, I want you to understand now, I will concede this point. There has to be a point where you recognize that I want to work for you. There has to be some type of partnership. The partnership is this. My problem with the partnership that we're holding Kaepernick to is this. Why are we holding him to a standard that we're not holding the NFL to? Kaepernick didn't break any rules.
No.
He didn't murder anybody.
Right.
He didn't harm any animals.
Right.
There was no rape.
No, Lord.
No car accident.
Right.
No abusing of your wife.
Right.
None of that stuff.
Right.
Ed Reed is in the league. He did the same thing, and he's still on a knee when they play the national anthem. To this day, every time they play it, he's still taking a knee for the Carolina Panthers. He's in the league. He also got a settlement.
You better
I got people saying that Kaepernick got a settlement. Ed Reed got a settlement. He was a part of the same lawsuit, and he's in the league.
You don't need a security guard.
I ain't worried. But here's the thing. I need y'all to understand me. You can look at Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali went through the same stuff.
Yes, he did.
It was us. Now, it was other people too. But it was us too that weren't supporting him en masse.
That's right.
We had people saying, Ali, you should do this. It's for the good of the community. You know, you're the people's champ, but we need you back in the ring. You know, they were all in his ear. And on principle, he said, no, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Took him 3 years, but on principle. He wasn't sacrificing his principle for anybody. Now, here we are again.
Yes.
Some of the same issues that were going on when Muhammad Ali was champion. Not necessarily the Vietnam War, but there's a war going on right now.
It is.
There's a man whose conscience is being attacked right now. He's standing up. Well, actually, he was kneeling for us.
Yes.
And guess who talking junk about him?
Us. I told you it's a bell ring.
I just need y'all to understand. I ain't got nothing but love for y'all. You know, I'm with y'all. Y'all can go watch the game on Sunday. I ain't never going to disparage you. You just know I ain't coming. I ain't coming. I don't go to any clubs.
Right.
No watch parties, no tailgates. I don't look at nothing on Facebook. all my ESPN is designed to block the NFL. When I go in, if I see it, I scroll past it. If I'm in the car and I hear the radio, I listen to sports talk radio too. When they start talking about football, I turn. I can be listening to the news. When they bring up the sports scores about football, I turn. That's just me. I'm not saying that you are a better person or a worse person than I am. I'm just giving you my philosophy.
What's real is what's real.
That's a real stand.
I'm sorry. There is no excuse. There is absolutely no reason. Not an employment, not an ability, not a skill set, not leadership, none of that stuff. Oh, statistics. Somebody was talking about statistics the other day. I love this sister. She said, he ain't a good quarterback. I said, oh, really?
Wow,
let's look at his stats and let's look at the 52 other players that have been drafted or picked over him and look at their stats. Some of them, and I mean this with nothing but affection, they ain't nothing but bums.
I like what you said there.
A bunch of bums playing football right now or starting ahead of him. Bums. Last thing I'll say, we'll transition. When Kaepernick first took a knee, somebody said he had been benched. You're absolutely right. He had been benched when he started kneeling. He was also hurt.
Yeah.
He was also hurt. And when his shoulder healed just a little bit more, he came back in and he was outperforming the person with no hurt shoulder.
That's right.
He still had better stats with a hurt shoulder.
Wow.
Than the starter that was picked over him. They had to bench that dude too because he was a bum. You're a bigger bum than hurt Colin Kaepernick. And I'm not calling either one of them a bum literally. I'm talking about their performance.
Right.
So this man is hurt and you can't play better than him? I might as well sit your ass down. You're doing better with him. So when Kaepernick went to Denver and they were trying to strike up a deal, John Elway lowballed Kaepernick. Lowballed him. At that time, his market value was well higher than what Denver was trying to get him for. And Cap was like, deuces. I can do better in free agency. And they locked him out. I keep saying last thing, but this is the last thing.
Keep snitching. I like it. Snitch.
The NFL don't settle no cases with nobody. They don't. Look how many years it took them to settle the concussion cases.
Oh my God.
Look how long they hid that and fought that and the stuff behind the scenes that they did and the manipulations and machinations they had in place to try to stop that. It was only when their backs was against the wall that they settled.
Too much money involved.
So you
suicides that came from
That's right. Because of the
amount
pain.
of negative publicity. When somebody like Junior Seau commits suicide and says, I want to lead my brain to science so they can study, that is major. So don't say that the NFL don't want to spend no more money. No, they settled with Kaepernick and Ed Reed not for publicity, but because they had no choice. They were gonna get taken to school in court.
That's right.
Too much damning evidence, and they wanted him to sign that waiver to release them because they are still colluding against him to this day.
Yes.
All right, now I love all y'all, but if you got some heat for me, bring it. I got a fire extinguisher. 470-251-4647 if you want some of this work. All right.
Isn't that cute? A bunch of women knowing about football.
I love it. I've been holding this all week. I ain't said nothing about Kaepernick too much all week. But what I want to do now is get back to some other things that I really, really believe are important. I want to talk about some boosting your woman up. Fellas, we got to boost our women up. Now, I'm going to ask the brothers. Brother Garrett, what do you do to boost your woman, to get your woman, to let your woman know that, you know, you got eyes for her and you loving her and, you know, that's your heart. What do you do, Brother
This
Garrett?
going to be good. I've known this brother for years.
Johnny enough time to think.
I've known him for years.
They both ready. I know they both ready.
First of all, what guys got to understand is if you want a woman to follow you, she's got to feel inspired by you.
Amen.
The same as our Lord and Savior and our Heavenly Father. If he feels inspired by us, then he's going to, well, he already said he's going to do what he's going to do. But if he feels inspired by us, then there's nothing that we can ask for.
Oh, Lord.
Same thing with the woman. If a woman feels inspired by her man, there's nothing he's got to ask for. But it's you have to cultivate that. It's not just going to happen overnight. You know, it's everything starts in seed form.
Sure.
So you have to cultivate.
Yeah, it's right there.
Fertilize.
Go preacher, man.
And when you get to that point, you have to let them know. Let her know before she walks out the door how beautiful she is. So when she gets to work, because see, men gotta realize your woman or your wife is at work maybe 8 hours, 12 hours, whatever it is. She's under submission of another man.
That was deep.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Come on now.
And that man, if you're not talking to her before she leave the house,
somebody
gonna talk to her when she gets to work.
Wow.
On her way to work. At the gate, baby, you beautiful. I ain't hear it, you know. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be in her head. But if her husband or her boyfriend or whatever tells her before she leaves the house, just like you said about the daughter.
Yep.
You know, baby, you beautiful. Oh, well, thank you, but my husband, my boyfriend already told me that.
Yes, sir.
I already know that.
You better preach.
You feel what I'm saying?
I love it.
And then coming home, men. If you get home before your wife or woman, don't wait till she get home to cook.
Can I
That's
bring
right.
the
Or what? I'll tell y'all something. See, y'all ain't got me. See,
That's right. You go for the
okay.
Don't stand up.
You're gonna be off camera if you stand up. So don't stand up.
As you can see, my business is pest control.
It's all good.
So I'm in and out of houses all day long. And what I can't stand is to go to a house and a grown-ass man sitting in the front of a television playing Nintendo or whatever he's doing, and the kitchen is jacked up, the bedroom is jacked up.
Right.
And he waiting for her to get home.
Right.
Now, she done been out working all day long.
All day long.
And all you doing is sitting here playing Nintendos or whatever. I be wanting to walk up behind her, slap her up beside me. Get your ass up. But I can't do that.
Right, because that's your client.
Like Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Get your check.
I lose my job. You see what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah, men. Make sure your women are inspired.
Yeah.
Before they leave the house, even when they come home.
I love it.
Rub their feet.
Stop now.
Give them a massage. Bring their bath water. I know. And see, people remember when Babyface came out with that song?
Oh,
As
yes.
soon as I get home from work.
Good love.
Yep.
Man, brothers hate him now.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
These millennium guys do.
Real brothers don't.
Yes.
There you
yes.
go.
Brothers that got to bring something to the table don't. But if you don't know how to bring anything to the table, yeah, you're going to hate on it.
I got it.
You're going to hate on it. So, brothers, a lot of this is
that was
learned
deep.
behavior for us,
Oh,
too.
boy.
Good deal.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
we weren't created with the emotions and all
Right.
the sensitivity.
True.
It's a learned behavior for us.
Yes.
And again, we have to want to cultivate and learn that same behavior so we can treat our women as what they are.
Well said. Well said.
Child, you
Brother
did
Johnny.
Hey, rub
did
my
that.
feet. I hear that.
Go ahead and speak right into the mic for me,
You know,
brother.
I
There you go.
think, you know, if you're a king, you're gonna treat her like a queen. I mean, it's not real complicated. I mean, you know, and as far as for a woman, you know what I'm saying, it's what type of man do you want? I mean, you can't expect to go get a thug, a gangster, or a player and expect him to be faithful and treat you right. You get
What you
get.
got.
right.
Ooh, you
So
said that.
If you want to get treated like a queen, get you a king. And you know the difference. You know what it is. You already knew he was messing with that woman,
Uh-oh.
that woman, that woman.
Ooh.
You knew. So my thing is, and if you're trying to win this woman over, you know, you got to do those little things. You know, open the door.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Send her flowers. Send her some edible arrangements. Take her
Edibles.
out to eat.
But don't start nothing that you can't keep up.
That's
Exactly.
right.
Because the things that you do to get her, you
gotta
need to
keep
keep
her.
doing those things. Don't, like
That's
you said,
right.
don't do
That's
those things.
right.
And
Don't
then,
front.
oh, I got her now. I ain't got to do nothing no more. Nah, you can't do that.
That's
I
right.
love it. I love it. All right, now,
That's
ladies,
right.
don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Ladies, I want to know what types of things that you do to your man to let your man know that you that dude. You know, I got your back. I'm holding you down. I'm pouring into you
That's right.
to keep you refueled. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna keep you for last because you already told me.
Yeah,
So we
that's
start.
how you
Bridget, we start
master.
with you.
Well, I believe the same sense goes. You know, you gotta. Most women let go once they get them. You know, I'm a firm believer, and if I'm gonna wear that wig tight right, and when you met me, I'm gonna wear that wig tight right when I got you. You know,
Okay.
I'm like this too. The same way I run the church, the same way I'm gonna run for my man. If I can get up in the morning and get myself prepared to leave out the house, why can't I look the same way for my man? I'm not going to always keep that do-rag on around him, and then when I'm outside the house, I'm going to do right. The attraction in your household keeps that man's attention as well. You got to put the same energy in it.
You do.
You know, you can't. I call it a reflection. Whatever I put in front of the mirror is exactly what I'm going to see. And you giving your all. You can't walk into a relationship and trying to level up with somebody. You got to walk into a relationship giving the accommodations as to what you're going to put into that relationship and allow it to reflect back on you for what you pouring into it. And then you giving your best, you'll recognize when you getting less. Because if you concentrate on what he doing, you slipped already. I got to do me, and in the process of me doing me, it allows me to have that sense of worth in myself that I know, wait a minute, I'm doing all these things, and this man is not meeting what he's supposed to do. That gives me the freedom to move on and leave. Because most of us stay in something out of guilt. When you know you're not doing yours, then you'll be like, oh, well, I know I wasn't right. No, I'm going to give you my all. So when this don't work out, I know I can walk away with a clean heart and a clean mind. So I work in the essence of whoever I'm with without having any guilt on my heart that it's going to go one way or another. And I put God first before any of it.
I love it. Lisa.
Yes, dear.
What you got?
Hey, I got nothing but the highest of respect. I really, it is true in what they say in finding your soulmate. And if indeed you are one of the blessed ones to come upon that, you want to put all that you have and continue to put all. And that's not meaning just your physical appearance. That is your spiritual. That is your dedication, your loyalty, your respect, your submission. I mean, and women do not understand what submission means.
Thank you. Give me some.
And I truly believe in putting in just as much, if not more, than what my man will be doing.
I love it.
Before we go to Miss Carol, she mentioned something.
Hold that. I know where you're going with it. Okay. Let's get Miss Carol. Then we get into that. There's some depths to that one. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Let me cut you off. When I met Miss Carolyn the other day, she was telling me about her background, and she was going on about the play and things like that, and then she started talking about her husband.
Yes.
Her eyes started sparkling.
Yes, they still sparkle.
And you see that smile that just popped up? Because she's thinking about her husband.
Yes.
It made me think about Everybody Hates Chris, Rochelle.
Oh, my
Whenever
God, yes.
somebody asks Rochelle something, she's like, I ain't got to do that. My husband got 3 jobs.
That's right.
And, there was this fierce, I'm taken care of. I'm doing this because I want to. I got some of that. Even though that was based on Chris Rock's family, I saw glimpses of the reality of that right here in you when you talked about your husband. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go right ahead.
No. What you're saying is true. My husband is my whole everything.
Yes.
And when a man findeth a good thing,
that just put chills on me just then.
It's so real. And
deep.
a lot of people don't believe it's real, and they tell me, Miss Carolyn, it's a storybook, that ain't real. It's real. Jesus is real, and when he sends you a good man, you gotta tap into it and allow yourself to receive it. And I had to understand that there was a real good man. The man that I met in '94 is the same man I'm married to. The man that would open up my door, pay for my meals, that would rub my feet, run my bath water. The man that makes me his queen. I'm still that same person. And so do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat them the way you want to be treated. So I treat him the way I want to be treated and the way he treats me. There is nothing that he don't do for me that I don't do for him, and more.
That's right.
That man, if I'm wrong, he gives more than 100% to make it right. And I'd be like, I need to apologize. He says, no. There was something that sparked something to do something, and I'm apologizing. And so he's allowed me to grow and to check myself. So I'm always looking in the mirror going, am I right? How can I be better? What should I do better? How do I enhance things to make it more than what it is? And it's great. When I say it's great, he's wonderful. He compliments me. He doesn't criticize me. And I do the same for him. You know,
Amen.
I empower him because he gives me the power.
I love it.
That's the unity that we have in the communication.
I tell you.
I love it. Brother Marquis says,
I wasn't breathing the whole time she
I'm
was talking.
always publicly professing my love for my wife.
Yes.
And privately, I'm blessed to be with her, and I love to let the world know about my greatest blessing.
Amen.
Love you, brother. Well said, brother.
Amen.
Well said, brother.
Well said.
You know what?
All right, so
Well
now, there was a word that was touched on by Sister Lisa. A good word.
Submissive.
I believe Brother Garrett wants to jump in and opine on that one. So, Brother Garrett, what you got?
Go on,
Well,
sing.
what I wanted to say was that when we talk about, like you said, when you talk about submission, and guys got to understand this, it's about that, like I was saying, when a woman feels inspired by you, submission comes automatically.
That's right.
And
Yes, it does.
that don't mean that she's supposed to be doing what you
tell
tell her
That's right.
to do, or what
She does what she loves to
should
do.
She does what she loves to do. And you're supposed to
That is
rule
take
your
care of
house.
her. Man,
Well,
that's
not
right.
even rule your house. You're supposed to guide your house with a
Jesus.
steady hand.
Amen.
A strong hand, but with a steady hand at the same time.
An accountable
So,
man.
but the thing is, though, is this: a lot of our men, our brothers, haven't seen these things that we talking about. Opening the car door, letting her know. It's a learned. Again, everything goes back to a learned behavior coming up based on their household.
Amen.
And if they didn't see that coming up,
They don't know it.
they don't know it.
Okay.
But at some point, as a
They
grown
gotta
ass
learn it, man.
you know what I mean. You got to get to that point where, hey, look, I need to do better.
That's right.
You know?
But you know that comes in saying, you know, even with, and these are just my thoughts. Even in a man, and he is a man that is so in love with that woman that he is willing to, those things that I don't do, opening the door, I want to learn those things. But you have to have that woman to be able to know how to guide. If you find that right woman that knows how to.
Seen and not heard about that.
Honey, I thank you so much for what you did. He's going to want to learn and want to do more.
Don't question his manhood.
Let's talk about this part right here, because I met this couple a couple of months ago, and they were engaged, or they are engaged. They're probably married by now. And I asked the brother, I said, you know, when did you know that she was the one? You know, because for us sometimes, for us sometimes, we either just know, or y'all do something and it's like, damn, oh, this is the one.
This is it.
He was the latter. It was like, oh, something happened and it triggered, she really the one. This is what happened. They were talking one night. He said, you know, I've always been writing poetry, always been doing this, and, you know, one day I want to do a book of poetry and publish it. She said, okay. I think, he said 2 weeks later, she had gone on Shutterfly, and she had gotten all his poems, and she put them in a book, had the book printed. She said, here's your prototype.
That's right.
For your book of poetry.
That's where I was going. See? Right there.
Now, what he said was, well, damn.
She
First
poured
of all,
into it.
She poured into him, but second of all,
Amen.
she added context, form, and configuration to his vision.
Wow.
So he had that
That's
foresight.
what I'm saying.
He had that foresight, but she had that insight, the details that he needed.
That's exactly
So
what
now
I'm
his
saying.
book of poetry is published. Now, this is what she did not do. After giving him the prototype, she didn't do nothing else.
She ain't pushing too hard.
No. It wasn't a matter of pushing him too hard. She had already said, hey,
this is your baby.
This is your baby. Now put the work in and make it happen.
Credit.
That's
So he got the gumption from that spirit of inspiration, and he made the book happen.
That's right.
This is the cautionary tale, ladies. I want y'all to be careful of this. You can pour into a glass that has a crack in it, and it's all gonna flow right on out.
Yep.
That's right.
Or you can pour into a vessel that's ready to be filled. It's up to your discernment to know the difference between the two. You can't pour into everybody.
Yeah.
So if you give somebody the right inspiration and you help them and they say, wow, that's really good, and they don't do nothing with it, that is the wrong vessel to pour into.
That's right.
That's right.
Keep it moving.
Ain't no amount of duct tape gonna fix it.
That's right.
Ain't no amount of pretty gonna fix it.
That's right.
So I need you ladies just keep in mind now, you have the gift of discernment. And you can definitely see if your intuition is all that, you should be able to stop getting played by guys with GEDs.
Hello.
And you got a doctorate.
All
Come
right.
on, I'm just saying.
That was deep. That was deep.
I love it.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
I want to say one more thing, and I got we're getting close to the end of the show, so I want to make sure that we give the play its proper time. All of you mentioned something about when you first got the bug. Most of you got it young.
Yeah.
Denominator.
Okay. So here's the thing. You all said something about doors opening. Those that were closed opening. I'm gonna submit something to you. Those doors were never closed. You just happen to be looking in a different direction.
All right.
You know how life will make you do something over here?
True.
Okay, so you were focusing over here,
Yeah.
but that door was still open.
That's just what Miss Carolyn and I was talking about.
Once you got on your purpose, and you turned in that direction of your purpose, you discovered that the door was open. There were other doors that were already
That's
open.
right.
You just had to walk through that first one.
Right.
So I want you
Look
to,
at God.
I just want to submit to you that purpose never left. And the thing that we have to be careful of as people is getting so focused on the job and on the bill.
Come on.
Yeah.
That we don't,
That we don't
take time to
take time to
focus on the
focus on the
passion.
passion.
The one thing that we men can do sometimes is we can work so hard on the job and leave nothing left for the family.
Wow. That was deep.
Never do
That was
that.
deep.
Never do that.
That was deep.
We have to spend more of our energy on our family than we do on our job.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's what I want to talk about on that. So let's talk about this play. Let's get back to the play. If someone wanted to come to the symposium where they're going to see excerpts of the play, where would they go? What would they need to do?
Clark Atlanta.
Okay.
Clark Atlanta. 6 o'clock on Friday, Lisa, right?
Yes, 6 o'clock Fridays from 6 to 8.
Friday as in
PM.
tomorrow.
Friday as in tomorrow.
22nd of
the
November.
22nd.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. Now, what about ticket prices? How much are the tickets?
It's free.
It's free.
Yeah.
I need y'all to hear this. This is a free event.
It's free.
Okay. Now, there's parking in the area.
Free parking.
Free parking.
Yes.
No excuses. You're going to
There
get
is
some
no
good information.
excuse.
Good information.
Yes, yes.
Good information. Now, Miss Carolyn, if someone wanted to follow you and what you're doing, well, first of all, tell us about the production company.
Yes.
Yes.
What's the name of the
Miller
production
Montage.
company?
Miller Montage Productions.
Now, I want y'all to know, because it's Miller, I need a check. Go right ahead.
Amen. You know, Mr. Levi Miller is my manager, and so to give honor to him, who is a legend of the Little League.
Little League.
Yeah, he's a 70-year-old man, part of the Little League, that he's done so much.
Yes.
He poured into the vision and the mission that God has given me about empowering and bringing awareness to sex trafficking. And I thought, I want to leave a legend with your name to it. And
Yes.
so we got together and we created Miller Montage Productions. And Montage is a name that I came up with. I have Oasis Montage Magazine. I have Oasis Productions. I have Oasis Speaks. I have everything. But
Theater and arts.
Montage means to me, I'm taking you on a journey.
Okay. Good deal. Now, someone wanted to contact you about any of the things that you're doing, the play, the future plays, the production companies. How would they reach out to you?
I have a Facebook page. It is Carolyn Louise Herring Moore. And I'm a herring. I'm a herring. Y'all don't get it. But anyways, I say that because I just found out who was my family. The Poo-Poo Man. Gene Anderson, the creator of hip hop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good
So
deal.
we're cousins, and I found that. And he's actually one of the sponsors and the ambassadors for everything I'm doing with sex trafficking. Michael St. John is also an ambassador.
Yes.
And my new sponsor, my new actor is Darius McClary. Woo!
Tell them where they would know Darius from.
Family Matters.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
Amen for him being a part of the cast of this play. I mean, when I say it started off with just something that God gave me about my niece and just needing to pour it out to everybody else, it's gotten larger than that because I need to reach a multitude of people to let them know that there is life after sex trafficking.
Absolutely.
We've got to bring awareness.
And domestic violence.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Lisa, now if people needed their day organized, if they need their schedule attended to. So if people wanted to contact you or they wanted to follow you or anything like that on social media, where would they go?
You can follow me on Facebook, Lisa Batiste.
Your new one about your actress.
Model Rain is another page that I have also. Instagram, LMB Credit Repair. I do legal services, family law, civil law, and credit restoration. Also, if you are ready to open a new business, I will write you a proposal. I will recreate your invention.
Actually, so you're doing dancing and modeling and acting, and we're starting a new...
Dancing, I do teach dance. That is line dance, ballet, Latin, you name it. Pretty much, if I do not know it, I can probably learn it.
I love it. Well done. Thank you so much. Bridget, now you have a title. Tell us your title again.
Yes, Miss Georgia American Elegance Lady, 2019-2020.
Love it, love it. If someone wanted to reach out to you for your services or to follow you on social media, how would they find you?
Yes, you will find me under Bridget Apps on Facebook and Bella, a.k.a. Bridget, on Instagram at the moment. I'm having my other pages created because I have to reconstruct them given everything I'm doing now.
Okay.
But everything I do now has become under awareness, and then also I have a new business as well. Is also me coming into your business and showing you now how to mortgage and manage yourself out there under under aliases to be able to come up with new different funding towards your companies. So it's a new refacing thing that I've been introduced in as well.
I love it, love it.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
All right, Brother Johnny. Now, Brother Johnny, I have a clip to play, but I'm out of time today, so I'll play it on next week's show. But if someone wanted to follow you and learn more about what you're doing, tell us how they could reach you.
At PBS #4 Life, LYFE at PBS for Life, and on Facebook, Johnny Lee Wesley II, and PBS ENT.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks so much for coming out, Brother Garrett. Someone wanted to follow you or have you come get raw and speak to them or something like that. Where would they find you, brother?
Well, Facebook, Garrett Patterson, my name. Instagram, Garrett M. Patterson. That's pretty much it. Or you can look me up on futuregents.com is where we have a mentoring group for young men from the ages of, I believe it's 4 on up.
Okay.
And then we have another one you can go to, Gentlemen of the Extinction, where we have a core group of men, about 7 of us, where we have decided to embark on this mission to take men, as we're talking about, that don't know these things and teach them so they can be productive and be supportive with their ladies or with their wives or whatever, and also not with that, but just in their businesses as well.
Amen.
Understood.
Amen.
I love it. Well, first of all, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
All right,
us.
this has been a great show. Great show.
Amazing.
Yes.
I just need y'all to understand that sex trafficking is no joke.
It's real.
We always like to keep things light and stuff like that. At the same time, though, you have to be very, very, very real and very aware of what's happening.
Yes.
Because right here in Atlanta, people talking about all the movie studios and all the films that are being here, something that accompanies those are sex trafficking.
That's right.
Crimes against people.
That's right.
You know, those things are happening now here. And we all have to do our part to be very, very aware of it.
And it's not just sex trafficking, human trafficking too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Men and women.
Absolutely.
Selling them.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Lisa and I just got certified as abolitionists for
Lord.
sex trafficking, human trafficking, and the symposium is being taught by the season. And so anybody that's wanting to get certified, which all my casts are being certified in human trafficking, we are about to minister this thing and make a difference in the community.
Yes.
So I want to close on this note. Brother Ozzie Davis, when no one else would eulogize Malcolm X, said that he would read Malcolm X's eulogy. And there's a part in it that talks about who Malcolm was and really who he still is. And it says that Malcolm was our manhood. Just an excerpt of it. Our manhood. So I want you to think about right now about Muhammad Ali being our manhood in the face of all these powerful folks, standing up proud, speaking out just as deliberately and forcefully as he would if he was talking to us. Martin Luther King represents a part of our manhood. Don't get it twisted. When he was taken from us, Martin started saying it like it was, and we still looking for our check.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted.
Yes, you're right.
And here we are right now with people like Byron Allen, representing our manhood, fighting up against these major corporations, fighting and winning so bad they had to take it to the Supreme Court and try to change the rules.
Yes.
Then we look at Colin Kaepernick, representing our manhood by standing up and saying, first of all, kneeling and saying, I'm sick of this. What can I do on my platform?
Right.
Well, why aren't you doing more in the community? Then doing more in the community. Well, why aren't you doing this? Then answering all these bells, doing everything they said that he should do, basically shutting them up. Now what you got to say is he shouldn't have wore a Kunta Kinte shirt. I need you to learn who Kunta Kinte was, what he represents. And then you'll get why he wore that shirt.
That's right.
There was a statement behind
That's
it.
right, our roots.
Listen, we do this every Thursday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. right here on Manifest TV. We are powered by Status Network, so make sure you follow us on all social media. Instagram, manifesttv.status. Facebook, Status Network LLC. Periscope, status_network_. Twitter, status_network_. We are on the Amazon Fire Stick and Roku as Status Network, Manifest TV. Our YouTube channel is Manifest TV. You can find me all over social media as Talk with Jeffery, Jeffery, everywhere but Snapchat. I ain't snapping, I ain't chatting. I'm too old for it now. I don't get it. Okay? All right, I've enjoyed having each one of you out. Thank you so much. This has been a hell of a show. I love it.
Yes.
Hell of a show.
Awesome.
Important topic, but I am out.
Thank you.
Right.
Yay.
So now, you know.
Now that you know about Jeffery, and let's talk about it live, come be a part of our family.
You know we had to give y'all homework, right?
Keep up with the show. Follow us on all of our social media platforms.
That's Facebook and Instagram.
Would you like to listen to the show on the go? Make sure you download the Status Network app on your Google or Apple Play Store.
Want to talk to Jeffery?
Dial 470-251-4647. We thank you for listening. And make sure you're back here every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller.
Status Network.